I think it's pretty funny how we consistently look back at the mistakes the 1 year ago version of us made and we wonder how stupid we possibly could have been to think that way. So here's that, but business edition where the mistakes probably cost me thousands of dollars. I think the ultimate source of all of these mistakes is a mix of overconfidence and beginner's luck, where you think because something worked out at the start that you know more than you actually do, but don't worry about that, it gets kicked out of you pretty soon. Like in the first one, if you started your first month and you made a pretty decent amount of money, then naturally you're gonna think that you must be doing something right after all. I mean, I think it's pretty normal. I mean, it's working, isn't it? Until the point comes where it actually doesn't work and you have no idea why it stopped working, and then you realize that you were actually a dumbass all along. For reference, in the first month when I started freelancing, I made about $200 to $300 ish, and that was 2 years ago. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that isn't a lot of money, but when it comes to being around here in this country, it's actually a pretty decent, hefty amount of cash. And I thought I was a genius, even though the cold hard truth was that at the time the few clients that I had found just turned out to respond very well to my approach in cold DMing, and I had found their posts just as soon as they had made them. It was the reason why it took me like almost a full entire month just to find the next client that was barely worth any money. Lesson here is never rely on your ego, it will almost always mess you up. Look at how the most successful people are doing the skill that you're trying to learn. Copy the style that fits you best, and as you do it more and more, you'll naturally find improvements and changes that you will want to make to suit yourself. The second one is more of a shorter point, but I feel like it's just as valuable, if not more. When you start to have your business ramp up a bit, you'll find yourself in contact with a lot more extra cash flow that maybe you would like to invest back into the business. When you're looking at stuff to invest in, always invest in the stuff that you're already using and working with first. So whether that's a better pair of noise cancelling headphones, a good, nice, comfortable office chair for you to work in, or just a more powerful PC to do your work on if that is connected to it, in a case like mine where it's video editing and I need some good, powerful PC parts for some animation work and video effects. When you're looking for investing in completely new stuff, then never rely just solely on the testimonials that you're seeing, even though they may be a good part to take into account. Whether that's for a new software tool, outsourcing some work to someone else, always have some kind of trial period or trial subscription for it at first to see if it's actually helpful and beneficial to you. The only situation where you should just take the leap entirely in a one-time kind of payment situation is if someone you already trust and has a very similar use case to you recommends whatever that thing is. Do not get sucked in by discount, scarcity offers, and lifetime deals, because I did and it literally cost me $1,000. Because your mind will just mess with you. It will make you think that something is more valuable than it actually is. Do not trust your emotions in that case. Just cold hard data and experiential facts. How much time it took with it versus how much time it took without it. How much money is saved as opposed to another option, etc., etc. Another one is don't plan according to your best or even good scenarios, but always plan for the worst scenarios that you've actually had happen. Especially when there's a deadline impending on your neck. If you have an urgent $500 expense, then you see how many messages and reach outs you've had to send in the past in order to make up that amount of money. If you're looking for a first draft on a project and with that client, at worst case it took last time like 10 hours, then you plan for the 10 hours, not for the one-time fluke when everything got done smoothly in 3. It's just essential to be focused on what actually matters and what doesn't in a day-to-day, week, month, and year kind of time frame. And I'm just recently coming to terms with that last one. For context, this is the wallpaper that I have for my PC, and it has 4 goals on it. Yes, 4, I know, we're coming to that part. Out of all of those, I'd say I only achieved the fitness one. I had to throw the language one in the back burner just because I didn't have the resources or frankly the priority for it. And I kept hopping between the first two, focusing on the first one for a little bit and putting a little effort into it, then refocusing on the second one and doing that again, then just hip hopping between the both of them. The result is yes, progress was made, but it was like 10% on both of them, when if I had focused on just one of them, it would have probably been way more than that. Keeping the second one is just kind of a bonus if I had extra time or extra effort. Speaking of the nature of this video, yes, you should always be trying to learn from the experiences and knowledge of other people, but paradoxically, at the same time, don't compare your own results / progress to them. Comparison is the thief of joy, yes, that is true, but it's also not a call to just do whatever is enough for the day and call it a wrap. It took me a lot of mulling it over and hearing from other people because the results that you get from the work here just are not linear. Sometimes they come in bursts, sometimes it's in a good streak and then a sudden crash. Then it's nothing, then a meteoric rise to the top. So at one point you just learn to focus on your own effort and your own accountability. If you're doing your best, genuinely doing your best and doing everything that you know you should be doing and not leaving anything left over by the day's end in regards of effort and energy, then I think that's pretty much enough. And I guess that's it for now. Hopefully this helped you realize and know some extra things that you didn't before. If it did so when you like this type of thing but in text form, I do have a business newsletter for that. And with that, bye.